Well, this unit is going to be about probability. And the first thing we're going to do in probability is we're going to talk about choices. When we have choices, let's say I have a car. Let's say I have a card and I have a few choices where I'm going to choose my card. Say the first thing I have is that I can pick a truck or or the sedan, with the four doors. So let's say I showed up and then I'm gonna be like, okay, here I am. And then they tell me, do you want a truck or do you want a sedan? And then once I pick a choice, they ask me, well, we got three choices of colors. We got black, blue, well, black, yellow, and red. Let's go black, red, yellow, and red. So I had to choose black, yellow, or red. Those are the choices that they have on each of these. So black, yellow, and red. So at the end of the day, I'm either going to have a truck that is black. I'm going to use abbreviations here, TB, truck that is black, truck that is yellow, a truck that is red, a sedan that is black, the sedan that is yellow, or sedan that is red. So at the end of the day, I have six choices. Now, it is easy to do this when we see this. It's easy to do it when there's not that many choices. Now we call this a tree diagram. The picture that you guys see there is a tree diagram because it started from a branch. It started from somewhere, right? That we're going to call this the trunk. And then the trunk had a branch, had in this case two branches, and then each branch had two more branch or three more branches, and so on and so forth. It is fine to do a tree diagram when we don't have that many choices. But cases, what if I had on the cars that I had to choose, let's say I had like 20 choices. And then on the colors that I had to choose, let's say I had 10 choices. It's gonna become complicated when the choices become a lot. So at the end of the day, sometimes we don't really care what are the choices. We care for how many choices we have. So when we look at the tree diagram, and on my first choice, when I had either truck or sedan, I really had two choices only. When I was looking at the colors, I had either black, yellow, or red. I had three choices only. And then if I was to multiply my choices, two times three would have given me my six. So I can do this tree diagram to literally see all of my choices, or I can just multiply the amount, the probabilities that I have on each, the choices that I have on each, just multiply it, and then the number will tell me how many choices I have at the end. So let's take a look at here. Question number one. I'm going to be working for today questions 1 through 4. So let's take a look at question number 1. Levi is creating their class schedule and has different options for each class. There are five math classes. There are two different history classes, and there's two different literature classes. How many different schedules are available if Levi takes one class in each subject? So Levi has three choices, either math or history and different literature class, and each of those choices she has different amount of choices. We can do the tree diagram. We can do the tree diagram starting with Levi and break the five math classes. And each of these have two choices. And then once we open it up, it has two more choices. Or, or we can just see, because at the end, we're just interested in how many different schedules there are. So at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is like, okay, math class. She has math class. She has five choices for math. And then she's going to choose a history class. Well, she has two choices for history. So I'm going to put that here. And then for literature classes, she has two different choices. So 5 times 2 times 2, I'm going to use a calculator if necessary. I'm going to say, well, at the end of the day, she has 20 choices. And that would be my answer because it said how many different schedules are available? 20 different schedules. Let's say Levi now is buying a customized card and has multiple options to choose between. There are two different window tints. So first, window tinting, three different wheels, and five different paint colors. How many different card combinations are available? So first, she's gonna do window tinting. So there's two choices. And then on different wheels, there's gonna be three choices. And on paint colors, there's five choices. I'm gonna multiply them all, 2 times 3 times 5, and I'm gonna say 30. Okay. At the end of the day, just type in 30 if this was your homework. So this is when we have to figure out the choices. How many? When my question is how many different card combinations are available or how many different schedules are available, when I'm interested in how many, you got either you can do the tree diagram or you can just look at your choices and multiply them all. It's a little bit different, right? A little bit easier. Now, let's take a look at questions 3 and 4. Now, here we're going to look at the sample space. We're going to write the sample space by listing the outcomes in set notation. Now, the sample space are basically what are all of my choices. Now, here, set notation means we're going to have this parentheses. They're going to look like this. This parentheses, these brackets are going to be in your on your homework already. You don't have to type it. In your homework, you're going to see a space in between them. So something like this. You have to write what's inside. Now, inside, I'm going to write all of my choices. Okay, so factors of 4. So basically, what numbers can I divide 4 by? Okay, so 4, I can divide it by what numbers? I can go 4 divided by 1, right? 4 divided by 1 gives me a whole number. 4 divided by 2, right? Uh, I cannot divide by 3 because 4 divided by 3 does not give me a whole number, but I can divide 4 divided by 4. That's what we call factors. Which numbers I can divide, in this case 4, which numbers can divide 4. So my choices, my sample space are 1, 2, and 4. Right? Again, my sample space are the choices that I have at the end. Let's take a look at question number 4. So we're going to see these brackets. Again, these brackets are already in Canvas. You don't have to type them in. Now write the sample space by listing the outcomes in set notation. Factors of 34. Which numbers I can divide 34 by? Let's see, 34, I can divide it by 1, right? So I can divide it by 1. 34 divided by 2 gives me 17. Okay, so I can divide this by 2. 34 divided by 3. No, that gives me a decimal, so no. Divided by 4, doesn't work. 5, 6, 7, 8. I keep on trying. I could use my calculator. 34 divided by 3 doesn't work. 34 divided by 4 doesn't work. And I'm going to say the next number that actually works is 17. 34 divided by 17 is it's a number. It gives you a whole number. And then I can also go 34 divided by 34. Again, on your homework, I'm only going to ask you guys to type in these numbers. Okay? Again, you guys are working questions 1 through 4, and that's how we do these.